So let's create the edit modal. So here we have already inside the modal we have students save. Let's just copy and paste. So we will have the same thing, and we need to change the name to student update modal. And here we have already added here an ID. Where is it? So this one, edit students modal. Let's give it. So let's close this one and keep only the update. So here let's give it the ID, which is edit students modal, and here also edit students form. So we will have the same thing, the only difference that we will use hidden input. So the hidden inputs will send the user ID, because to update, not user ID, student ID. To update the students, we need to provide the user ID. So let's not the user ID, but the student ID. So let's change the name to student ID, and also the ID to student ID, and it will be hidden input. So next, let's import or include the modal so we can see it. So let's change this one, as I said, to update. Where is it? To update modal. And now let's refresh the page. So let's refresh again. So I think that's something what is here. So the update modal file to open. So we have already. So this is. So I think that's the name. I have something wrong with name. So sorry for this mistake. So it's student update modal. So that's why it's failed to load the file. So now it's loaded correctly. Let's click here, and as you can see, we have add students, but we need to change it to edit students. Refresh, click, and now it's edit students, but we need also to fill the form. Let's change the class to warning. Save, refresh, click here. Now it submits. Now we need to fill the form, and to fill the form we need to call or to add the Ajax call that will take us to a file that we will add later. So let's add first Ajax call, and later we will move to the file that we need to add. So here inside index, let's move down. Let's copy the same thing from here and paste it here. And here we will use not the submit, but click. So once the user clicks on this button, this one, so in this button, once I click on this button, we can use, we can give it a class. So we will use the class, not the ID. So let's give it a class, better and updates. So using this class, we can trigger the event, which is the click. And here we used class, as I said. So we don't need the events because we are not sending, we are only getting the data. And to get the student that we want to update, we need the ID of this student, and we can get it using this dot val, which is the value that we have already added here, this one. So we can get it using this val. Now we have the student's ID. Next, we need to send the request. As I said, the request is get, and here we will add another file, which is the update students.php. And as I said, to get students, we need ID, and we can concatenate the ID with student ID that we have gotten from the input or from the button value. Next, we don't need anything from this. We only need success, and once success is, or once we get the student successfully, we have the response, and we need to parse the response and check if the response status is 200. If yes, then we need to fill the form. Form is here. So here, let's change the, so to not have or to not have conflicts between the add and edit form. Let's remove students from here and keep only the name of but let's use it here and remove it from the other fields. So here it's student ID, and here also student ID, but here we keep only the name, the register number, and what else, the EVG, and the move next. Or let's use here the register as it is here, the register number, and here the register number. So let's fill form. So the first thing we need to fill is the name. So the name, we get it with the ID, and we give it the value that we will get from the response. So the response will contain students that we have and the ID. And same thing for the other fields. Let's do the same thing. So let's copy here. So we have the name, we have the register number. So let's copy and paste here, and also we need the EVG, and here EVG, and move next, and also here move next. So let's remove this one. Oh, okay, so this one is for the ID, I forgot. We need also to add or to fill the student's ID. So now that we have filled form, so we need to display or to show, we need to show the modal, so we can see the students that we want to update. So let's copy this line of code and add it after this, the ID, and here it's edits, I think it's edits, or it's student. So let's it's student update modal. So here we show the modal, not hide. And if the status is 404, which means that we did not get student, or the student doesn't exist, we display message. If something else happened, then we tell the user that something went wrong. So let's try to refresh the page, but now we will not get the user because, or get the student, because we did not add the file yet. So let's add file inside public, and file, as we said, it's update student.php. So let's move to the file. So here the first thing we need to do is to get student using the ID that we are sending from our index or from our request. So this ID. So we need to get students using this ID. So let's just copy from here and paste here. So here we use the connection with the database, and here we need to check for the request if it is get. If it is get, then we get student's ID, as I said, from the get, or using the get request, and from the param, which is the ID. And now that we have the student's ID, let's move to the top, and let's bring the code from here and use it here. So here we need to select from students where ID equal to student ID. And next we need to bind param, so let's use stemte. So let's bind params and param here, bind param, which is student ID. We'll take student ID that we have here, and we can define the param, and the param we can set it to integer, just to tell our application that we will receive an integer. And once we have, as I said, and once we bind the param, we execute the function, and here we will fetch only one student, and we will fetch it using the array. So now that we have students, what we will do, we need to return the response as we have done here. Where is it? So as we have done here. So let's bring this and put it here. So we send the response. We don't need the message. And here the student is student. And we JSON encode the response. So let's try and see if we will display student successfully or not. As you can see here, we have the ID instead of name. So let's check back. So where is it? So here, let's move down. So here we are using the ID. So it's name, not ID. Let's refresh again. Check for this one. So as you can see, we have haha, we have the registration number, the average, and students move to the next. What else? Let's try to get another one. So here we have Carl, the registration number, and let's try to get John Doe. So the same thing. Let's try to get Mark, and same thing. So now we fetch successfully the students that we want to update. What left is once I change something here and I click on submit. So we need to update the student. So let's do that now.